No, certainly. You see, whenever we speak about Dalit issues, the mainstream media or the intelligentsia, they try to restrict it merely as an issue of reservation or representation. That is absolutely not the case. What we have seen is that in the course of the last 7 decades, the sort of nexus that existed between the intellectual establishment and the ruling Congress party, they tried to propagate one narrative, which was precisely this, that whenever you try to speak about caste, it's about atrocity, it's about reservation, it's about doles, it's about populist measures. But if you look at it in depth, if you do some academic analysis, if you try to bring some nuanced research perspective, you would realize that caste is not just a political concept, it is a sociological concept as well. We agree that historically there has been a section of our society who have been at the receiving end, who did not enjoy the patronage of power, the patronage of property, and by and large, they were also excluded from the so called social prestige issues. So it is certainly an issue, but never we saw an attempt to manipulate and take advantage out of these social fault lines. So there is where come the issues of Dalits, which have obviously been on the center stage since the making of our constitution. As we are aware that the chairperson of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he was a foremost legal thinker. He was a social thinker. He was an eminent economist. He was an eminent anthropologist, an intellectual, an institution in himself. But you see what the Congress party did. The Congress left intelligentsia, like I said in my opening remarks, in their quest to perpetuate, to promote only one Nehru Gandhi dynasty, they did a great amount of disservice to these great men and women of India. People with great vision, foresight. I would, by your medium of Festival of Bharat, request all the youngsters, request all the thinking citizens of our society and the country and across the world that we must read the debates, the assertions, and the arguments that has gone into the making of our constitution. The Constituent Assembly debate is in itself a reflection of our diversity. It's a reflection of our appetite for diverse opinions and perspectives, and at the same time that we can coexist with such diversities. So when we say unity in diversity, it is not just a slogan, it is not just a rhetoric, but a commitment and a way of life for us. So that is which is extremely important. Like I said, Congress party did a great amount of disservice. The Congress left intelligentsia specifically. They did not explore, they did not attempt to academically explore the multiple dimensions of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, and that was unfortunate. It was only in the last few years that we have seen the monuments, the Panch Teeth scheme of the government of India, that the monument related to the memories of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, we are trying to institutionalize them, we are trying to pay our homage to them, and it plays a significant role. When you speak of the Dalit imagination today, it is not just of assertion. The new Dalit imagination, the new Dalit India, the new Dalits of India, which I obviously talk about in many of my previous presentation as well, it is both assertive and accommodative. So the problem with the present generation is that a majority of them believe that Dalit issues, he or she is only going to talk about reservation. It goes much beyond that. The classification of society which was happening and the occupational classification that was done centuries ago, the young Dalits, they do not look up to that. They are aspirational. And you would see in the coming time how in the field of entrepreneurship, in the field of bureaucracy, in the field of business, they are doing remarkably well. So whenever you speak of Dalit issues, you have to be coming with an objective, with an open mind, without any institutional biases. That has been the case. Having said that, I would also say that there are some problems. There are some massive problems which need to be addressed. Dalits still are vying for representation at critical decision making positions. I would give you an example. You look at the higher echelons of the government, the higher echelons of the decision making authorities, No cabinet secretary in the entire history of our country have been a Dalit. No foreign secretary, which is apparently the highest position in terms of foreign policy, has been a Dalit. So this is something which is deplorable. And it was only after this government that Honorable President Ramnath Kovindji, who comes from a disadvantaged community, was given a position. People say that it was K.R. Narayanan, but he converted to Christianity. So there is a different debate on that. But yes, Dalit issue is a comprehensive issue. It needs an academic examination. It needs to go beyond the established rhetoric of reservation. There are some cultural moorings, there are some festivals, and in my previous presentations as well, I have said that Dalits are more Hindus than the upper caste Hindus. Like the allegations come upon us, I can cite millions of such examples. You look at the festivals, the place where I come from, Bihar, we celebrate Chhat festival. You look at the Kanwad Yatra, the sizable presence, the sizable participation is from the socially disadvantaged community. So this nexus, this narrative of that Dalits are anti-India, Dalits are anti-Hindu, this is futile, baseless, and just a figment of imagination. Dalit issues needs academic examination and needs to go beyond the established rhetoric with an inquisitive approach.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.